Let us meet those ugly people.
Curtis is here too. Check it out.
Curtis!
Hello.
Yeah.
I heard all the hullabaloo about this. I want to see it go down.
Get down. You know, I'm old. I can get down. I just can't get back up again.
Yeah. Yeah. Starting early,
Always the
Greg.
case. Yeah, I know. It's always there and stuff. Good to see you, Curtis.
Nice to be here.
Good to see you. So, Rolando, where do you hail from? Where do you hail from?
San Jose, California.
San Jose. Cool. Love it. Yeah, beautiful Tempe Improv there, man. I just love that place. I've taught there.
Oh, yeah?
It's gorgeous. It's actually too big for anything useful. It's beautiful, huge, and stuff. San Jose. Good. Chris, where do you hail from?
Yes, sir. From Norman, Oklahoma.
Norman, my relatives. I got a lot of Chitwoods are still there. I think they're related to me.
Okay.
Living there. My great grandfather came from Norman, Oklahoma during the Dust Bowl out to California to pick fruit right out of the grapes of wrath.
Okay.
Actually, we had a family joke that in their Model T Ford coming out that we were rich Okies because we had two mattresses strapped onto the top of the car.
Yes.
We were rich Okies because they would just drive until they got tired. They pull over to the road back in those days and put the mattresses out by, and it was so back in the, and then kids would sleep on one mattress, the parents would sleep on the next. My great grandfather and his wife, and my grandmother actually was also and came out during that time. So yeah, I'm right out of the grapes of wrath. So Evelyn, where do you hail from?
New York.
New York.
New York, yo.
New York. Yes, but clearly you're not from New York, or else you'd say you would said New York.
No, it slips out when I'm tired. The New York accent. It comes
It comes out.
Oh yeah, it comes out.
I had a dog named Jolly, and everybody when we'd say, "What's your dog?" Dog's name Jolly. Unless they were from New York, they thought we were saying Charlie. They would. They go, "Oh, Charlie." No, Jolly. That's what I said, Jolly. It's almost like that old sitcom, not the Craw. The Craw. You guys remember that? What was that secret? Don Adams. Get Smart.
Oh, right.
Get Smart. There was a character, the Claw.
The Claw, right.
But he was Asian.
Yes.
So he couldn't say claw. So we always say the craw. And so people would go, the craw? No! The craw! The craw? Right. No, the craw! He just the character couldn't hear that he couldn't say the L's. So I had a guy in a class one time say his name was LaForest. And he kept saying LaForest. Anyway. There you go. And so it's LaForest? No, it's LaForest. Like Ayla said, it's LaForest. Oh. Anyway, there it is. So, Salman. Did I get that right, Salman?
Hi, guys.
Hey, where you hail from?
Well, I live in Dubai.
Dubai.
So,
wow.
Yeah. It's but my family comes from Pakistan.
Do you know Knife?
Knife?
Yeah, he's a comedian there. It doesn't matter. I trained.
Oh, Knife in Saudi, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's right. He's different.
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I'm an American. I don't know geography. Yeah, Knife. Yeah. Knife. If you know who he is, then yeah, he came and trained with me.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, Knife is he's fairly famous, I guess, over there and stuff.
So's Fork and Spoon.
Who's Fork and Spoon or I can't even think of a joke for that. Jeez, that was good, Kev. Thanks. Yeah, only Americans think knife when they say knife, that it's something odd or strange.
It's actually a common name in Saudi. Yeah, Saudi Arabia. Yeah. I like how the room went silent.
Yeah.
We're all in our heads
East.
processing. It's conversations are a mental process.
And Curtis is just mental. How dare you? Are you frozen, Curtis? Are you there? Are you even moving? I don't know if you're moving. You moved a little bit.
It's not.
I don't know.
Right.
Is he gone? I can't
Yeah, he
tell.
looked
I can't.
frozen.
Yeah, because usually
might
when
have
I
taken
insult him,
a
he
screen-
he comes back with, "How
There he is.
dare you?" That's what how dare you? It's a standard comeback. What people learn real quick: if I'm not insulting you, I don't like you. It's just the way. If I'm insulting you, I like you. So people I don't like, I ignore. Oh, he's gone.
I think he was having internet problems because he froze into several different positions for me.
Yes, he did for me as well. Nice cup. What are you drinking?
Water. Super exciting.
Wow, that's a fancy cup for water.
I know, right?
Okay, what kind of a cup is that? It's
Well,
Asian.
my boyfriend gave it to me, so I use it for everything, even boring things.
That's always a good thing to do.
Even a chamber pot.
Yeah.
What a romantic guy.
Yep.
Here's your chamber pot.
Yeah. That's all I get for me.
Dubai. Wow. So is it warm there?
It's a little bit more than warm. It's hitting 40 Celsius. So I can't remember what that is in Fahrenheit right now.
120.
But
Fahrenheit.
Probably, yeah. It's hot. It's hot now. It gets really hot.
This is true. So, Rolando, how is it where you are?
It's pretty good. It's around 80s right now in Fahrenheit.
See, that's a beautiful time. You know, that's same here. live outside LA now. I moved. I used to live in Hollywood. I got tired of all the homeless people going through my garbage.
Now you go through family's garbage.
Yeah, I go back and go through their garbage. So I do it to my neighbors just so that they know, just to stay reminiscing and stuff. Curtis, you got your stuff. Oh, you get a haircut, Curtis? Or
Yes.
Did you actually comb it?
No, I'm back. I'm at a different location in the East Bay, not in San Francisco.
Oh, wow. Oakland-ish? Where at? In the East Bay.
He's frozen.
Some crack.
Well, it doesn't really matter where he's at because he's a statue. So he's now part of a museum somewhere.
So apologies.
That's okay. How many more? Oh gosh, we were expecting a few more. How many more are we expecting?
I think we were expecting 18, maybe. Let me double check.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Fear does funny things to people. That's the weird thing about it. Even though something's free, it's this is Gayla. Gayla's here. The illustrious pretty Gayla. Yeah.
Hey. Quite an entrance.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah. I was expecting Darth Vader's theme. So actually, I got that. Actually, I was sitting in a food court mall, eating something. And some guy sitting next to me, his phone goes, dun, 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 dun. He picks it up and opens it. Hi, honey. And I thought, that's hilarious. I started laughing. He's going, yeah. I guess he's used to people knowing that, and that made me think, oh gosh, actually did a sketch. Yeah, we shot a sketch out at the YouTube space in LA. Here we have a YouTube space, a full studio that YouTube gives you for free if you go and do some training, and you get a bunch of followers, which I have, and we shot a sketch out there and stuff. And then I stole that joke and instead it was a woman screaming. Like she just screaming, ah! Ah! Hi, honey.
My boyfriend, for his ex-wife, the ringtone is monster sounds.
Which monster? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Predator or something.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, something
Like
really
that was-
loud and vicious.
Yeah, I need to get the Psycho theme for my ex.
Oh yeah, bweet, 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 bweet. So yeah, that's there you go. See, we got another joke. We got some jokes. How to turn a ringtone into a joke. I used to buy these promotional pins when we were IRL in real life classes and give out these promotional pins. I thought, how can I turn that pin into a joke? Took me a couple of months. Finally, I had them made up, and it goes, stolen from Greg Dean's stand-up comedy classes. People, yeah, if you give them the pen, at some point they read them in class. You hear, all right, you read the pen.
Yeah.
I used to give out free tickets as a clown. It was just a ticket that said free, and I'd give them to kids as I was leaving here. I'm going to give you a free ticket to get a free ticket. And on it would say, "This ticket's not worth anything, but it is free."
It is free. That's right. It's just free. Well, okay. We're at 10 after, so we're going to start anyway. You know that those other people, they're just they're not worthy. It's just that simple. They're not worthy. So good to have you all. We'll go ahead and go through this whole thing and let's see. Kev, I'll turn it over to you, and you can take us through the first section here and all that good stuff. Here we go, Kevster.
Right. Welcome, everybody. On behalf of the whole Greg Dean team, I want to thank you for coming to this presentation. Now, I'm sure you might have some questions, and if you have questions at any time, you're free to go ahead and put them into chat. They'll be answered at the end, or they'll be answered at some point. And that's how you can get your questions answered. Now, while you're thinking of questions and filling out that information, you might want to take a little minute and watch this video. It's a fun video about what our students are saying.
Who's Greg Dean? Someone told me there was free donuts and coffee. I was actually on the way to my other gig, so Okay, just jokes. Greg Dean.
Good, MC. The number one important thing about comedy is your relationship with the audience. And that has helped me tremendously in improving as a comedian and as a person. And I think that I think it's changed my life, my whole way of thinking, you know, taking this class. And so it's been quite a journey, and happy to be on it.
A lot of times you'll see comedians get up there and just talk. And they might have funny material, but they're not connecting to the audience. And it makes a huge difference. And with your structure, I mean, I can tell funny stories, but if I don't structure it right, it doesn't get the laugh that you need from an audience that pays to see you as opposed to your friends.
But the number one thing that I think Greg and Gayla have taught me is that I can do this, and I can be successful at doing this, and they've given me a lot of confidence.
And I look at comedians like your Eddie Murphys, your Robin Williams, and that's my type of personality. And I always wonder, like, how do they do what they do? And it's the structure.
There are a couple of great things about taking this class. One is you get a system that's plug and play, and if you're stuck in traffic, you can take whatever's annoying you and put it through there and turn shit into fertilizer.
I love the fact that he didn't try to instill in you how to be funny. If you were funny, great. If you weren't, some of us have learned what that's like.
His techniques have helped me to see, you know, more about who I am as a person in this world.
You actually really care about us, which is surprising, because nobody in LA ever cares about their students.
He's taught me already that having a chemical and cultural imbalance may not be restrictive in terms of being a stand-up comic, and I hope he's right.
I always believed that most stand-up comedians aren't funny. And I took Greg's class, and because of the structure, now I can actually explain to someone why they're not funny. Thank you, Greg.
So you can see one of the things about our classes, I just have to tell you, is that we have fun. We just do have fun. We laugh, we crack up, we bag on each other. It's a lot of fun. And I think that that video captures that pretty well. All right, so this is the free webinar, Building a Routine. You're here because you want to take your skills, your random jokes, your thoughts, and turn them into a complete routine. We're going to give you an overview of some of the ways that we do that with you. Now, the first thing we have to say is we have to say congratulations. Now, you are witnessing this right now. We have tons of people that sign up for this and tons that chicken out. So congratulations, you guys already took a bigger step than all the people that chickened out. You're doing something that 99% of the population is scared to do, and good on you for getting out of your comfort zone. Advance.
Advance, please.
Tonight, you're going to understand the skills needed to create a routine. And that's basically what I said on another slide. All right, so here we're going to, this is what we're going to go over today. We're going to go over joke structure so you can write funny jokes. You have to know what a joke is to write a joke. We're going to talk about improving material and telling funny stories. We're going to talk about organizing routines, overcoming stage fright, connecting with the audience, and being more confident. We're going to go over all those things. So make sure you have your pen and paper handy so you can take notes. Also, if you're like, hey, I'm just into this at any point, you can go ahead and I'll put the link in the chat here. It'll be a minute before I get it in because I'm talking. But when I'm done talking, I'll put that link in chat. And you're welcome to just go right there and go to the website and make the purchase and check out the class, which starts officially next week, 5 weeks long. And don't forget to hit our website up, standupcomedy.com. You can also Google it. Check it out. Who the $$ exclamation at is Greg Dean. Who the heck is Greg Dean? So everybody, a lot of people ask. So here, we're going to give you a quick overview of Greg. First and foremost, Greg Dean is the writer and author of Step by Step to Stand-Up Comedy. Not only is this book available, it is a bestseller available here in all over the U.S., but it's available in multiple languages, such as Chinese and Indonesian and coming soon Spanish. It's being translated right now. And what's so amazing is that the rules of comedy, which there aren't a lot of rules, but the rules apply for every culture because humor has to come from the same thing, which is to see one thing two ways. We'll talk more about that later. Greg is a Comedy Store Wall of Fame paid regular. You can go to the Comedy Store in Hollywood and see his name up there with Robin Williams. Right here you can see Richard Belzer and a couple other people. So check that out. And what does Greg do? Advance.
Wow, I'm advancing. They are advancing. There's a lag.
I know there's a lag. That's no big deal. I just have to draw attention to it because it's funny. So Greg's been teaching stand-up since 1982. That might be longer than some of you have been alive. A man who can analyze stand-up.
Right here.
A man who can analyze stand-up for 40 years has got a lot of shit to show you. Okay? So back in the beginning, there weren't stand-up comedy classes. He was the inventor of the stand-up comedy class. Let's bring him up right now. Here he is. You already met him, Mr. Greg Dean.
I'm here. Okay, let me see. Yay! It's me, introduction. Okay, here's just some things, kind of put a frame on the class and just a little background. 1982, like you said, there were no fundamentals. There was nothing. There was a book back then on how to write for radio. for Jack Benny and Bob Hope and Milton Berle and stuff on their radio shows. That's all that there was. So I was just mostly teaching acting stuff and a few other things, but I was teaching too much of my opinion. Anyway, at some point, this guy kind of goes, hey, that's your way. Yeah, I want to do it my way. And I was thinking, wow, I know how to write a joke, rewrite a joke. So how do I do what I do? And that's where it kind of started. I said, well, if I'm going to teach people joke writing, I got to figure out what a joke is. And then from there, it took me 15 years to figure that out. And then after that, there's a whole world of things started opening up. And I started going, well, fundamentals. What about all the fundamentals? Why don't I try to establish those? So the question came up then after that, which is, what the hell's a fundamental? How do you categorize it? Finally, I found a system that I still use today to understand the fundamentals, which are technique, principles, techniques, mechanisms, things like that. So here's how I go about developing them. And I still do this today. And I'm still having breakthroughs. I identify a technique, a principle, a mechanism, something. In this case, let's say a technique like and when you're doing crowd work, you could do a technique I call misunderstanding. That's where you purposefully misunderstand the answer. Okay, and then it goes from there. So if I identify that, if it doesn't have a name, I give it a name. And then what I do is I then create an exercise, which I have and taught this many times, where everybody stands and two people talk back and forth and one misunderstands the other one on purpose, and so on and so forth. If you do that exercise enough, then the mind sets it up where now you have a skill. You can do it, which is the difference between, let's say, knowing what riding a unicycle is and being able to ride the unicycle. That's the progression, and everything that I teach follows this progression, so that everything eventually comes down to it's a skill that you can work on, get better, and then apply to your own sense of humor, and that's the difference. Most teachers are teaching their opinion of what's funny. I like that, I don't like that, rewrite it this way, edit it this way, whereas what we do is we teach you to do it for yourself. So that's what we do. There's all exercises are done in class. We're there with you, so that if you don't understand, to go, I don't understand this. How do I do this? What do you mean by that? We're right there going through it with you. Then we give you assignments, so you go home and work on your own, etc. But we're there with you when we teach you joke writing, or when we're teaching you performing exercises. Everything turns into exercises so you can develop it as a skill. Okay, safe environment. Well, I invented something that's called solution feedback. I've never heard anybody do it before, but it came from a branch of psychology, positive psychology, where certain therapists won't actually listen to the people's problems. A guy named Milton H. Erickson started it. They'd come into him and go, I don't want to hear your problems. Who do you want to become? And then he would help them become who they wanted to become. And I thought, wow, what a great thing here. We don't have to listen, don't have to deal with the problems of a show. We'll just keep giving fixes. And then with those fixes, one of the rules I've made here for all of my certified students is the fixes with technique, they have to be explained to you guys. In other words, it's not just, oh, do it that way because I like it better, or because it will work better, or because of any of those. We explain it to you. Oh, this is the reason. It causes, the joke sharper, the mental processing happens quicker. This does this, etc. We always, there's got to be an explanation to the technique as well, and not just the technique. Most teachers teach their opinions, so none of this is going to be going on. They teach very little actual teaching. And it used to be, back in when I was starting, open mics used to be the only place to train. That was it. That was the whole thing, was you just go to open mics as best you could over and over and over again and stuff, and come up through the school of hard knocks. And most of us developed what I consider like a couple of tricks that you end up building a career on. Few people actually got really good at a lot of different skills for whatever reason, but that's what it was it the open mics. Now we have classes, we have information. There's a lot that we can teach you. You don't have to be in it alone. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We'll help you do that. Now, with that said, you still have to put in your time. You have to put in the time. No matter what you do, there's got to be time put in. There's no substitute for stage time, no matter what you do. So, and I send it over to Gayla.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Kev. Good job. Some people have this question. That's why we have it here. Why should I take a class instead of just doing open mics? Well, there's like, here's 5 bullet points that we like to share with you as to why. First of all, in a class is where you can learn the fundamentals of stand-up comedy, some of the skills, techniques, and step-by-step processes to your voice and, your jokes. And it's the only shortcut to performing in terms of knowing some technique. Another reason is in the class, you'll learn joke structure so you can perform at 5+ laughs per minute. That's what we go for. Hey, Greg, you got a cursor running all over the place here. It's kind of
Sorry.
There you are. Cool. I'm not sure what. In the class, we teach joke structure. We encourage our students to perform at 5+ laughs per minute. So instead of getting 1 joke after talking for 10 minutes, you're going for 10 jokes or 5 jokes for 1 minute. And so that's how we teach you in the class to find the jokes, not the narrative in your storytelling. You have a safe place to be bad. Yeah, safe place. I hate to say be bad, but sometimes when you're first starting out or you're working on new material, it's not the best it could be yet. It's a work in progress. So we give you great feedback. We give you a lot of support. It's okay to be bad and work your way to the better, good parts. Get support on and off stage. We do that in class. We have stage in class. We perform in class. You get a lot of support. We have a thing called solution feedback, not, fixes, all kinds of things like that. And you will be collaborating with experienced comedians. These are comedians in our classes that have learned our skills and technique, plus Greg's certified instructors that are trained in his techniques. There's so many other reasons. Oh, here we go. Avoid developing bad performing habits. You find a lot of people at the open mics, they have different ways of doing their material and saying certain things. Blue humor or not, cussing, just ranting and going on without a joke. All those things can become the way you perform if that's where you're training, only at open mics. It just depends. Greg's students quickly move past the open mic phase and get booked into good comedy rooms. That has a lot to do with what bookers are looking for. They're looking for people to open with a good joke and follow it up with good jokes and have a clear idea of where they're going with the routine, and then close it professionally and be on time and watch their time. And yeah, we train all of that in the class. So obviously, if you have a great show like that, you can get booked a lot easier than if you're from an open mic and have no structure. You can't get these kinds of techniques from open mics, but Greg can give you from his 40+ years of performing and teaching. That's why it's good to do a class, and it saves you 4 to 6 years of development time. It's not, we call the open mics the school of hard knocks. This is a legitimate school that can just save you time. And for your information, if you did want to just register, sign up, you know about this, you're ready to get into this with us, discount available. Click on the payment link in the chat. standupcomedy.com/class is the website. So we're here for you if you wanted to register while you're doing this. Cool. I think I'm ready to give it back to Greg on this one. Bringing Greg on back. Hey, Greg.
There I am. I'm coming back. So understanding joke structure, very important. Really a great place to start, because that's the number one tool. That's your canvas, is the humor itself. So when I say joke, I mean a single unit of humor. I don't care if it's a one-liner, if it's part of a story, if it's a cartoon, if it's sitcom, if it's a sketch, it doesn't matter. When I say joke, because when you get down to really understanding joke structure, in essence, they're all the same, and it's universal, which is, again, why my book has been translated into so many languages. They can change the language, change the jokes, but the structure always stays the same because it's universal. So so joke means single unit of humor. All jokes have 2 parts and 3 mechanisms. That's what we're going to teach you. And that's really important. Okay. Now, here's kind of the counter to the setup and punch is not joke structure. Okay, it's taught all over the internet in classes as joke structure. It's not. It's just the way we present one-liners. It's just a way of presenting humor. There's a lot of ways of presenting humor, like I said before, sketches and cartoon. Setup and punch is not joke structure. It would be like going to a music school and saying, can you teach me the fundamentals of music? And they'd say, okay, first thing you need to know is song. What? Orchestra, opera. Now, wait a second, those are just ways of expressing music. Those aren't the fundamentals. Exactly. Set up and punch. So once you understand joke structure, my joke structure, the 2 parts and the 3 mechanisms, and you really understand how we connect those, okay, you can identify a joke. Really important. People, I do privates all the time. People come in with these notebooks and they'll say, what do you want to work on? They'll give me a whole paragraph. And I'll end up going, okay, you have 1 joke there. Is that what you were trying to say? Yes, that's what I was trying to say. They're writing and writing and writing and writing and writing and writing because they don't know how to identify the exact place where the joke's at. Once you can do that, your shows, other people's shows, everything changes because you know where the joke's at. Now you know then how to fix jokes. Oh, you're writing, doing all these other things that are just cluttering it because you don't know where it's at. Now you can fix the joke because you know what's needed inside that joke. What the setup's supposed to do, what the punch is supposed to do, first part, second part are supposed to do. Okay, you could fix jokes. And other teachers, it's like, oh, it didn't get a laugh, throw it out. And I usually fix jokes. If somebody's got a good idea, if the structure is good at the center of it, we just need to rewrite it and deal with the performance, and we can usually turn it into a great joke because the fundamentals of that joke are strong. So the other thing is writing jokes at will. This is really important. A lot of people don't believe I can do it. I can. I haven't invented a lot of things. Most what I teach you is me observing, watching great comedians and great comedy writers, figuring out what they're doing, turned it into an exercise, teaching it to you. That's not me inventing anything, maybe the exercise. But I've invented like 3 or 4 different joke writing systems. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I can teach you how to write jokes at will. That's one of the things I can do. Okay. Now, doesn't mean all of them are going to be great. That's the hard part, is writing those great jokes where the audience laughs so hard their forehead bangs on the table, which is what we're looking for. Okay. So now joke writing. Okay. You can wait for that bolt of creative lightning, or you can learn how to write jokes anytime on any subjects. My joke prospector writing system. Okay. It's the only system in the world that actually takes you from zero, really from zero, nothing. And then we talk about topics, and then we go through a bunch of steps, how to write the setup, then how to write a punch for it. And you end up with a finished joke. It's the only system on the planet, and it is mine. I invented it, over time from understanding joke structure. Learning the process of telling funny stories. Yeah, we teach you how to write one-liners at first, just because we want you to see the structure and quickly move right into storytelling. The jokes are the fundamentals of the jokes are the same. The presentation's different. I'll talk about that later. We're also going to teach you how to go from rant to routine, get up and rant out a bunch of ideas and turn it into a routine. Write one-liners, which is really important, just to know how to write them, so that you get good, tight, concise jokes. How to make observations and turn it into material. A lot of ways of writing material. Okay, that's what we do. Of actual writing. The actual writing of jokes. Here's a guy named Armando Anto. You can look him up. He is a world-class violinist, and he got tired of being a violinist and decided to be a comedian. He came to me, and all right, well, here's just a quick sample of his stuff.
I'm gonna play a sad love song, and it means my love for you is eternal. I can actually be serious. That's I don't know what the fuck I'm saying! I can play something more American.
And he, by the way, became a paid headliner within 1 year and 3 months of taking this class. They asked him how he did it, and he went, "Oh, I just did what Greg told me to do. But he understood the importance of technique and practicing and discipline and stuff like that. And then he took our class about how to get work, did all the things of 10 steps I had in that, which including getting a mentor and following him around and how to, interplay with that person and network with that person. And then he went and did a gig in Texas with him. He worked up from guest spot to opener to feature. And then when he was on a gig, the people loved him so much, said, "Will you come back in 6 months, do the same show, but will you headline?" Boom, he's a headliner. Okay. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the progression. There's a progression. We're kind of a trade school if you stay with us, because we'll take you down that path to getting the material and stuff that puts you on the path to becoming a working comedian and all. So, oh, come on, don't do that. All right, here we go. So next is improving jokes. Really important, like we say, fixing and improving jokes. There are many reasons really good jokes don't get laughs, okay? You can learn the proper ways of doing it, okay? This is really important. First of identifying the joke, like I said before, when you know where the joke's at, then you can go back to write it concisely, because you know how long the first part and second part should be and how it should. You can eliminate comics cliches. I loathe comics cliches, which are all those crappy things that all comedians, beginner comedians, say. Things like, like they start their show with, "Hi, how you all doing this evening?" and end their show, "That's my time." They also say, "A funny thing happened to, oh, speaking of supermarkets." I mean, all that dumbass stuff that keeps you from having an original voice. We'll teach you how to take jokes and then explore them as scenes. So they're not just a line of dialogue. We're going to teach you how to go inside that joke and look around and find more material, as well as improve that joke and apply what I call comedy grammar. Setups and punches, or first part and second part, they have to be written certain ways in order to, because jokes are a mental process. For the audience to get a joke, they've got to go through a mental process of being misdirected and then having to you resolve that incongruity the punch gives them, and there's certain things that clog up that system, that process they're going through, slows it all down. And when you learn how to write jokes concisely and write and put the elements in the right places, you can then turn it into a joke that pops rather than one that kind of slogs along. Maybe get a laugh, maybe not. So we do that. Strong premises. A lot of people don't understand the power of this. One of the most, we use these a lot in the advanced class, because this is where, because premise, if you look in the dictionary, says a statement from which you develop a further argument. In comedy, that argument is made with jokes. So you give a premise, and each joke is like an example or a demonstration of that idea. Okay. And I'll give you an example of that in just a moment, but it starts the routine. You watch great comedians, they'll come out and say their premise right away. Okay. It states their message if there is a message, or at least, it keeps the routine on track, tells the audience what to expect. Oh, right now, Louis C.K. comes out and says, "My 4-year-old daughter's an asshole." Oh, I know, for the next few minutes, he's going to make some jokes about his 4-year-old daughter being an asshole. Okay. And that's it. And it establishes your comic voice, because those are your negative opinions. And if you're consistent about what you're talking about, your comic voice emerges, because the premise is out there stating what you're going to be talking about. This is Peter Kay, Brit comedian. I've been following him for years. I really love him. He starts with the premise. He does a bit, then he states it again. I could cut it, but I like this bit. And anyway, watch him, because you'll know what he's going to do, and then he does it.
You know all about karaoke. When you're singing on a karaoke, you haven't got a clue that those were words. I was singing Take That, Back for Good. Wash your back. Wash your back, wash your back. Want your back? What's this? Want your back? I've been singing Wash Your Back 15 years. So when you go on a karaoke and you see lyrics, that's what they're supposed to be singing. You know that song, We Are Family? For years I thought they were singing, Just Let Me Staple the Vicar. Right? Who's right and who's wrong here? Listen.
people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me state for the record.
That's what they sing. Just let me staple the vicar. What's all that about?
Just let me state for the record.
It makes me laugh every time I hear this. It really does. And this is a very long routine. Look it up on YouTube or something. He does a whole bunch of them, and they're all hilarious and all. Now, just so you know, the actual phrase in that song is "Just let me state for the record," which I think he should have said that, because I think that's another joke in itself, because I don't think anybody knows that. And he comes out and he goes, you don't, the words, you don't know what the real words are for a song because you make up your own until you see them in karaoke. Then he proceeds to do like 5 to 7 minutes on that. Okay, we know what he's going to do. Boom, it's nice and clear, and everyone is a joke that is, again, a demonstration of that premise. Very important. All right, developing material other than just the writing. Okay, the writing is one thing. Sit down, write, follow a system. We write jokes, write this idea, write that idea. Don't get me wrong, we spend some time writing jokes. Okay, that's important. But learn to play with others. Okay, when there are several people together working on a show, or more jokes are created because everyone has a different perspective. Everybody has a different background and information, and they'll look at that joke and have a better joke or a tag or improve it, etc. So we teach you how to write in groups. We work with you in collaboration. We work collaborating. We do pitching sessions. You join in. Learn how to do act outs. Take a regular one-liner and kind of turn it into an act out or a scene to see if you can find more material in it and more ideas. The idea is there's more than just sitting down and writing as a way of developing material. Okay, so Gayla, is this Kevin? Kevin, you're back.
Thank you, Greg. So what sets us apart? We take a lot of pride in the things that set us apart. First, like Greg was saying, we teach nuts and bolts techniques that you can use to communicate your sense of humor, not opinions. You know when something's not funny because we don't laugh. So nobody needs to say that didn't work. We don't give opinions. I don't know what's going to happen between you and an audience. I don't know those people. Our teachers are all certified in the Greg Dean system. That's about between 8 and 12 hours a week of training that we've been doing for the last few years. It's a proven step-by-step technique. Now, the book's called Step by Step. It's not called Step by Step just to have a clever little title. It is literally step by step. Step 1, step 2. We give solution feedback. In other words, if we can't fix it, we don't want to bring any attention to it. There's no reason. And we don't have any censorship except clear and present danger, which means you cannot yell fire in a movie house, but you can yell movie in a firehouse. Thank you. I'll be here all night. I really will.
That one's burning, my friend. That one's burning. I like it.
All right. But check it out. Here's an overview of the class. Like I said, it's a five-week class. And each week, those red arrows, they represent the fact that each week builds on the previous week. So it is a cumulative process. And if you notice down on the bottom of class 1, it says assignment 10 minutes a day. We say, if you put in 10 minutes a day, you'll always be with us. You'll be caught up. There might be things you're stuck on. We're going to start out class 1. We gotta talk about joke structure so we can identify jokes. Then we're going to start writing jokes. Then we're going to talk about the 4 principles, which the 4 principles are the basis for you being on stage. We're going to talk about premises and ranting, and then we're going to bring the premises and ranting back a little more developed in week 2, and we're going to review the assignment. We're going to do more joke writing, and then we're going to split into telling funny stories. Lots of people don't want to be one-liner comedians. They want to act out little scenes. We understand that. The beauty is we are going to show you how to split your one-liners up and turn them into scenes which can open them up to all different kinds of things. We'll come back on week 3. You're going to do the assignment review. We're going to talk more about jokes and storytelling. Again, one thing with 2 interpretations will apply in storytelling as well. We're going to do the rehearsal process. We're going to rewrite your routine on class 4, rehearse the routine, perform the routine, and then come back class 5 and do that all again. Rewrite the routine, give feedback, rehearse the routine, and perform it. The objective is to have a 1-minute show with 5+ laughs a minute. 5+. If you can craft 1 minute at 5 laughs a minute, you're set. You won't need us after that. You are welcome. You are teacher independent. Okay? So that's the goal here. All right, next thing. And once again, if you are interested in signing up for the class, I saw Evelyn signed up. If you're interested in signing up, you can go ahead and I'll put the link into El Chato for you.
El Chato.
El Chato. That's nice. That's right. Like we're cocaine dealers. Everybody here is jokeaholics. Watch out for us.
Greg Dean Escobar.
All right. I'll continue with telling funny stories. One-liners are only one of many ways to communicate the joke, the funny I talked about before, single unit of humor. There's just a lot of ways to do it. Storying is, but here's where I want to spend the time for a moment here. Storytelling is more complex as there is more techniques used to get laughs in storytelling. Okay, because it's not just the joke. It's also you're dealing with situations, okay, like sitcoms, because there's situations you've got to learn to deal with. You got to portray the characters that are inside your story and play them so the audience knows that they're characters and that there's a difference between you and them. You got to learn how to stage the act outs so that they're staged properly and clearly. And you need to learn how to write jokes for scenes. Jokes are jokes. When they come down to it, they've got 2 parts and 3 mechanisms. But here, it's not like one-liners. Here, it's within a scene. So the joke structure is the same, but the presentation is completely different. Okay, and we need to show you how that is. Again, once you get joke structure, then we can explain to you the difference between a one-liner and storytelling and observations and all those others. They're just different presentations of a good joke. So here's John Mulaney. If you don't know him, he's really funny. He's just telling a story. We'll talk about this. This is storytelling.
I'm changing between subway trains, right? And it's 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? And you have to walk down this long corridor in order to change trains. 2 o'clock in the morning, it's just me and this woman. And she's walking a few yards ahead of me. And we're walking down, and she starts giving me, like, the over-the-shoulder, like that, like looking. And then she starts to pick up the pace. She starts to walk a lot faster. So I think, oh, she must hear the train coming. Or she feels it in her feet like a Native American in a movie. So I start to sprint down the hallway at her, and she looks back and she's like, ah! And then she gives chase, so now we're like booking it down the corridor at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gaining on her. And we're getting to the end of the hallway, and she's going into that like dead end shuffle, that women do when you chase them. And I'm almost there. I'm almost at her, and then it dawns on me. Oh, she's running from me. Because in her eyes, I'm an adult. And adults rape each other.
So John Mulaney tells a story, all right? So here's the interesting thing is filling, the next thing I'm talking about, filling routines with jokes. There are dozens of spaces begging for jokes, and there are dozens of techniques for learning how to add jokes. So let's look at his story. His story was really about late night at the subway. This woman starts moving faster. He thinks she hears the train, and then later he realizes that she's running from him. That's the story. That's probably what really happened to him in life. Okay. Now we're going to play this. I'm going to play this again. And over here, we've got a little graphic that'll keep popping in and say added jokes. So you can see where he added jokes to this routine beyond just the simple thing of she's running and she's running from me. Okay, here we go. Same clip, but look for that added joke thing. You'll start to see.
I'm changing between subway trains, right? And it's 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? And you have to walk down this long corridor in order to change trains. 2 o'clock in the morning, it's just me and this woman. And she's walking a few yards ahead of me. And we're walking down, and she starts giving me like the over the shoulder, like that, you know, like looking. And then she starts to pick up the pace. She starts to walk a lot faster. So I think, oh, she must hear the train coming. You know, or she feels it in her feet like a Native American in a movie. So I start to sprint down the hallway at her, and she looks back and she's like, ah! And then she gives chase, so now we're like booking it down the corridor at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gaining on her. I'm gaining on her, and we're getting to the end of the hallway, and she's going into that like dead end shuffle, you know, that women do when you chase them. And I'm almost there. I'm almost at her, and then it dawns on me. Oh, she's running from me. Because in her eyes, I'm an adult. And adults rape each other.
So you can see that when you bring something in, you start working on it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it was a very simple story that had a lot of potential, had essentially 1 or 2 jokes in it. And then he starts adding all these other things from storytelling in there and finding where all the other jokes are. That's why people say, well, do you guys write stand-up comedy routines? And I go, no, we develop them. They're developed. That's one of the misnomers. People think you write the show. It's developed over a long period of time. And the more you perform it, the more you add jokes and tags and so on and so forth. And this is a really good example to see, I don't know, probably there was like 8 to 10 jokes he added to a very simple story that turned it into a great routine. I'm sure this did not start out as a great routine. It started out as a very simple story. We want you to understand that we understand that process. And again, there's dozens of holes and there's dozens of techniques that will teach you for adding jokes to existing material. Very important that you understand that. Stop it. All right, here we go. Now, organizing jokes into routines. What do you do with all those jokes? You write a bunch of jokes from different systems. You think of them. People pitch them to you. You know, you ad-lib them on stage. What do you do with them all? Well, you need to know your BCAs, which is to say, you open with your B material. All right. So strong, but you can follow your C material, your middle materials in the middle, makes it a little stronger because you got them laughing with your B material, and you close with your A material. This is a technique we actually teach it. We work with people a lot in the beginning class, the 101 and the 201, as anytime anybody develops a bit or a routine, then after you perform it a few times, we go, okay, we need to rearrange it. I've seen students a lot of times start with A and then go to their C material, and I'm going, wow, you're ending with the thud. You're starting out great, and it just goes downhill from there. So we rearrange that routine. All of a sudden, it becomes very, very successful by putting it into BCA. Managing stage fright, very important. The butterflies may never go away, but you can learn to train them to fly in formation. Okay. That's what you want to do so that they become a bit of an asset for you. First of all, I'm going to go over some things. A buddy of mine, really close friend, wrote a book called No More Butterflies. He's a full professor for many years at UC Dominguez Hills. And he did research. This was based on research, not just, this was research. This guy is a scientist, you know, he's an academic. And he found from research, the number one thing that caused people to feel fear was the unknown. They don't know about the unknown. We handle that by repeated in-class performances. You're going to always be up performing and getting to know what it's like to get up in Zoom here and get up and perform and wait for the laughs and those kinds of stuff. So that kind of slays that little minor dragon, if that makes any sense to you. It's not completely unknown. That's the point of taking a workshop. You've got a safe place to start to get to know the process instead of just, go to an open mic and it's like being thrown in the middle of the ocean is a way to learn how to swim. Not a good idea as far as I'm concerned. The next thing is feeling unprepared. That was the second most common thing that caused people to fear a lot of fear, okay? Feeling unprepared. Well, that's what this whole class is about. This whole 5 weeks is all about building a routine, that's 5+ laughs per minute. Now, here's the important thing is because of the way we teach with techniques and explanations and stuff, not only do you end up with that routine, you know how you got there. Oh, joke structure. Okay, now a bunch of different ways to write and compile and put together, I'll put together my material, perform it a bunch of times, you rehearse it, then BCA it and so on and so on. Oh, I've got this. Not only do you have it, you understand the process of how you got it. And that's the kind of stuff that will give you the courage to get on stage. Okay. It's about, so everything isn't unknown and feeling really prepared. It's really powerful for people that they come in really terrified and then they feel so prepared. They're like, wow, I'm nervous, but not like I used to be, which is terror. It was just like, I'm nervous. Oh, okay. Well, that's what it should be. If you're not nervous going on stage, then you're not emotionally associated. Everybody gets nervous before going on. Here's Alex. He came in terrified, afraid, didn't know anything about stand-up comedy, had never performed, hadn't done anything, but he worked really hard on his show, did what we asked him to do. This is a show after the 101 class.
But I think I got a lot of good material in my head that I could write with, but I just got to get over a little bit of stage fright.
Yeah, Alex!
All right, thanks everybody for supporting virtual comedy. It's my first time doing this. This all feels like a dream to me, but I think that's because I ate the mushrooms before the show. I might start to see trails, so just forgive me, be with me. I just went camping on a 6-week camping vacation, living in a tent for 6 weeks. I was homeless in Skid Row. Yeah, I had a mental health incident. I had to move back in with my parents. It's okay though, it's not a bad thing. My mom's a good cook. Problem is she cooks crystal meth. Yeah, my dad always said my ass was good for nothing. So I started smuggling heroin in my anus. I just got my unemployment. Oh, fuck, I just fucked up. I think it's because I smoked too much weed. Just got a pay raise. Yeah, I got my unemployment check. I went to a gender reveal party. They called the cops on me because I was the only one to reveal my gender.
So that's Alex after the 101 class came in knowing nothing. And then, and these jokes didn't start off. I mean, they came in with a good idea and each one of them evolved and we added and kept shortening them and getting them tight and doing the proper comedy grammar to them and the performance of them, et cetera, et cetera. This is the first time he's ever performed in his life. He's never been in front of an audience or anything. Okay. So that's this is not unusual for our students. It really isn't, because the ones who work at it, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't do as well, but they didn't work at it. This guy worked at it. Okay. He went in and again, did what we said, worked on it, did the office hours, did all the other things that we ask people to do. So here we go. Performing with confidence is the next thing I want to talk about. Now, there's a big secret to this, by the way. And that big secret is confidence is earned. Okay, it is earned. We can get you past a lot of stage fright, you know, with doing the things in class and feeling prepared, but confidence is earned. It is people say, I've had people say, I'll as soon as I get some confidence, I'll perform. It doesn't work that way. That person will never perform because they'll never get confidence because they're not doing anything. There's a series of things that you can do to get the confidence, which complete the assignments, 10 minutes a day. Give us that 10 minutes a day. Okay. Cumulatively, you'll be shocked at how much you get done. Use the teacher's feedback. We're giving you these ideas and we're explaining the techniques. If you don't like the jokes, fine, don't use them. That's all right. That's the jokes, but the feedback about why we're structuring things different and rewriting them, and we have a reason for it. Use those things. Prepare your in-class performances. A lot of people don't work on their in-class performances. They don't do very well, and then they've got an excuse. Oh, I just didn't work on it. You know, oh, good. Give yourself an out for failure. That's good. Okay, so you attend the weekly. We have office hours. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. But office hours, you can come in and do office hours. There's 3 office hours a week. You can just drop in. We have open mics. We do 3 open mics a week.
Wow.
They're free. You can come in and do those. And you know what? You don't even have to do something. I mean, one person, I don't know what to do. I said, just get up on the open mic and get up and go. I just wanted to stand here and say, I'm in an open mic. Thank you. That was it. I mean, well, that was the first step. Just came in and went, okay, I'm here. Bye. Great. We don't care. It's free. We're here to be of help. Last thing is work on building the routine like we're asking you to with all the things that we've just talked about in this and there's more in this this free webinar, which you do, and you end up building a show 5+ laughs per minute. Again, not only does the fear go away, the confidence starts to come in because the more you do it and you understand the joke structures work, the way we, teach you the performing, the storytelling, the jokes in storytelling, the BCA, how a show builds, learning to play the characters in your stories. There's just so many things. If you're doing them correctly, a show just flows very nicely. And so that's what we're really after. Is the answer is this: the confidence will come with all your preparation and following the procedure. I've been doing this for 40 years. None of this stuff is an accident. Everything I've uncovered and innovated and teach is to answer recurring problems in beginning comedians, things they need to solve in order to become good professional comedians. And the ones who do them, like Armando Anto, they find themselves way ahead of the game and out there, passing up. All their friends are still in open mics and they're doing comedy rooms or somebody paying them a little bit of money. The other people are still trying to put together the routine after 2 or 3 years because they said, oh, you can only learn stand-up comedy doing the open mics. Well, it's just not true anymore. And if there's a shortcut, it's technique. It's, and that's not just me. That's with anything that's complex and difficult. So I turned this view back over to the lovely Gayla Johnson.
All right, here we go. You guys sign up and get in this class. It starts next week, and then we do the rest. We give you things. We're going to give you free PDF handouts for the assignments. Yeah, each week there'll be some home play for you, and it's a no-brainer. We've already figured out what PDF assignments will help you get through it. We give you Zoom support and training. Hey, that comes with the class. People have requested that. Now we built it into the class. You get a makeup or review the class on video. So if you miss a class or you couldn't make it or you got there too late, you didn't see the whole thing, or sometimes you just want to review it just to watch it again. You can watch that on video the next 7 days after that class, 1 week apart. You can definitely review that. We have weekly office hours. Greg's talked about that a couple of times. And that's teachers like me and Curtis and Kevin and a couple of others are available on Zoom for 1 hour, 1 day, every day of the week. I think each of us assigned different days, and we're there, office hours, to help you on assignments, direct messaging to teachers and students. You know what? Sometimes people have other things going on. They want to talk about it. You know, they want to share their life. They want to ask a specific question about a specific skill or technique. We're here for you. We answer you right back because we're available 24/7 that way. Membership in our global stand-up community. Yeah, we got this amazing community. It's on another platform, a social networking platform that we use. And in that community, we post shows and bookings and tips on stand-up comedy, videos to watch, different jokes a joke a day, things we put in there all the time for students to check out. Free weekly open mics. We offer that as well. I've heard that some open mics nowadays are charging like $5 an open mic for you to perform or something. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find good ones that are just free to you. So we offer that as well. So definitely looking forward to that. We're going to have a, so you can join us. We have
Thursday the 20th.
Yeah, we had to change that out again.
Do it.
Yeah, we can edit that. I can do it right here too.
Right.
May 20th is when we start. Okay, done. Refresh your deck, Greg. Anyway, so classes start next week, May 20th. Here on Zoom, it comes at a screen near you. I like to say that. I never say it right though. A screen near you, your own computer. 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time zone is what we're calling it. UK time zone. 5 weeks of live online instruction.
It didn't change.
That's the UK one. We have 3 sections of the 101 class, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday. Each of them are to accommodate a 7 p.m. time zone start. So the Pacific 101 starts 7 to 10 p.m. for 5 weeks on Tuesday nights. The Wednesday is the UK time zone, and that one's in the morning Pacific time, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So again, that's 7 to 10 p.m. in the UK. And we have the Eastern time zone, and it corresponds with the start time of this workshop as well, which is 4 p.m. and obviously it's 7 p.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's interesting when we do this presentation, we just have to remember to change this particular card because it accommodates the class that we're in. So sorry about that, but we did this a couple more times this week, and we have other classes starting in these different time zones. So yeah, if this one works for you, fantastic. We'd love to have you. If you need something different, let us know. We can accommodate you there as well. So tonight we have a really good deal for you. You can join up. First of all, I want to welcome a couple of students in this class that are here. Welcome, Chris Kalinsky. Did I say that right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. You nailed it. Thank you. Yes.
I nailed it. We got Chris, we got Evelyn. She's in the class, Evelyn Thatcher. That's awesome. So welcome. Anyone else? We have room. You can pay in full, $3.99, get it out of the way. Boom, you're done. You don't have to think about it. We even give you $50 off the discount. We have a $50 off discount code. The full rate is $3.99. Sorry, you would pay $3.49. So we're giving you $50 off the price if you make a payment. In that sense, we're actually paying you to take the class. We're giving you $50 to take the class. If that's difficult for you, we have this other idea, a payment plan. The full price of the course is $3.99. You would do an automatic payment of 99.75 cents a week for 4 weeks. And that's how we kind of work with people that need a payment plan. Stick around after class. We have a Q&A coming up. We have some questions we're going to answer. You guys might have had in chat. If there's something specific. Oh yeah, we got a couple. Here's one I see about enjoying open mics. In the meantime, I have to say, click on the payment link if you haven't already in chat to sign up or ask a question or put in some information. I want to bring Greg back now and have him answer this question. It's a great question. Hey, Greg, you back?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm ready. And or ask Kev, Gayla, or even Curtis, who is one of our teachers as well down there.
Yeah.
And stuff. So we all had, et cetera. So Gayla, what questions do we have?
First, I wanted to compliment you on the idea that the metaphor you used about that we have a step-by-step process that teaches a lot of skills and techniques, and it's like people think comedy is just joke, just like they think music is just song. That it's not. There's so many fundamentals in song, like pitch, scale, rhythm, melody, chords, harmony. I looked this up. Timbre, texture, form, dynamics, all these things. And yet song is so. I was just trying to say thanks for that. The question we have is in definitely, I'm trying to find it here. Is there, so many of them. Any suggestions of learning how to enjoy open mics more?
Yeah, I do. For me, it's a two-step process. Sit in on them for a while, go early, whatever it is, sit in on them, watch them. Now, if people are listening and they're attentive because it's a good open mic, then you can try your material and try to get a read on it, etc. Okay, if it isn't, do not do your material. Rant. Pick something you have a negative opinion about, something in the news or a personal issue or something like that, and just stand there and rant and be honest. Okay, then you leave that open mic with something for you. But if you're trying to get a read on your material and nobody's listening, it's very discouraging. You start thinking, well, you start questioning whether your material's any good or not, etc. And that's not a fair evaluation. Yet if or even riff to kind of get people there, learn how to learn. Well, we teach crowd work too in the 201, but that's the other thing is do a little crowd work too. Do anything but material and try to practice being honest. Let that voice out of the back of your head out and say what's really true for you. Now you leave that open mic with something positive for you, where everybody else will just be frustrated because nobody was listening. If they're listening, do your show.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I had something just to make it more fun, because I did all of the crap open mics in LA and all around the country. One of the things I did was I always had an open mic buddy that was my friend. And one of the things we did for the night was go to an open mic. But the night was kind of built around us. Even if we bombed, we had a good time. It's like, man, we were terrible. And we'd laugh at how bad we were. But later on, we were, something about the camaraderie of finding other comics to hang out with. I used to do open mics with Judd Apatow. I don't know what happened to him. And Mark Wilmore from The Simpsons, guys like that. And I just liked them as people. So we'd go, and if nobody was laughing at us, the goal would be to make our friend laugh, because at least we had a good time. So open mics don't have to be horrible things, and it always does feel better and less intimidating if you go into somebody you care about. I also like what Kevin said, and Kevin said have a goal every time you go, so you don't have empty sets, meaning, you're constantly trying something new, and that keeps you on your toes as well. Like, I want to do a whole show without any material, or I just want to talk to the crowd, or I just want to talk about my dead grandmother, or whatever. You have a different goal every show. But yeah, it can be fun, Evelyn. It doesn't have to be horrible. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. That's great. I super appreciate it.
You can also use the open mic to your advantage. If you're deathly scared of bombing, you can go bomb on purpose.
Woo! Like
I'm not kidding. A lot of times you just have to get past that first bomb, because you're in your head until that first one happens. So go, know nobody, get your introduction, and bomb.
Right.
There's another way to use an open mic and have fun. Is to study an open mic. Go as an audience member and just watch the comedians. The more you learn about skills and techniques, the more you see how these people just don't know any skills and techniques, how they're messing up, how you could fix a joke, how they went on and on without material, how they're just talking, or how they're hoping people are gonna like their personality, or how everything is blue because it's shock humor and it's not really a joke. Once you're learning this, test all these skills out on an open mic and just watch. And you'll be able to see what we see. You'll be able to see what Greg has been seeing for 40 years as to why he created these techniques and figure them out in the first place. Is because, and especially during this time when audiences have such short attention spans nowadays. You know, there's so much comedy out there. There's the internet. People have their phones. They'll give you like a half a second to do a joke, and then they'll go into their phone and they'll do something else because you lost them. You know, you know, how do you keep the audience's attention? You have to come with your material and know what you're doing. So you can study, and that's one way.
Guys, we got a question on social media. It says, what if you got a bad memory, or are you standing up there doing a joke and halfway in it, you forget what you was going to say and what to do?
First thing you do is admit it. Just say to the audience, I'm scared and I just forgot everything I've ever known. I didn't even know my name. See, what it is likability in stand-up comedy doesn't come from being nice to the audience. Stand-up's really not a very nice art form. You're not being nice to everybody. But likability comes from vulnerability. So if you say, oh, I just forgot, the audience will laugh and it resets the room and you can pick it up from there. Or if the audience doesn't laugh at a joke, say the same thing. It's just about calling the situation. Don't try to hide it, because the audience can see something went wrong. Now they're all in their head going, what's wrong? What's this person? They look scared. They're trying to figure it out. If you kind of go, oh, I just forgot. Now you're off the hook. Oh, he just forgot. And I actually, with my classes, because when we were in IRL, or even when we do Zoom, I give the instructions. So look, if you have an accountability partner, you know, ask them what was I working on? Oh yeah, do the McDonald's bit. Thanks. Okay, McDonald's. And then get it right back up again. The support system, we're all yelling. I've yelled out stuff, you know, do the stuff about the river. They forgot. There's other things too about not memorizing words and self-talk, but you really kind of got to take the class to understand that there's two different ways of memorizing the words. If you say the words a whole lot of times in a row, they get coded in self-talk. So you have to talk it to yourself and then say it, and talk it to yourself and then say it. Or that's my rehearsal process, is to turn it into a scene. Now the whole joke, or even sometimes whole routine, is a scene that you can see. So instead of memorizing, you know, my brother David, you look over and see your brother David. Oh, my brother David. So you see everything, hear and feel. It turns into a scene, and then you tell the story. So that's the other thing. You're probably, if you're going blank, you're probably memorizing your words in self-talk. And if something goes wrong and you can't disengage from the audience and talk to yourself to get that information, you will go blank. And that's why I teach the other way, because my students don't go blank. Because they see their whole show. They can see it. People interrupt them and they'll talk to them, go back, look, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm over here getting a drink at this bar. And they pick their show right back up again. So, you know, that's one of the huge things that I'm going to be teaching you, which is the rehearsal process, and my students don't really go blank because they can see their whole show.
That was a great question. That question came from YouTube, because we're live streaming. That was a great question. Here's one in chat: how to overcome technical issues during a Zoom open mic.
I'm not sure what you mean by technical issues.
It means like if you're telling a joke and something get garbled up while you're speaking, you know.
Yeah, if there's just certain things call it. Oh, everything just got garbled. Did I sound like I was underwater? That's the first thing you want to do, is acknowledge it. See, part of this thing we're going to teach you is about trust. The audience will always trust you if they don't know that you know what's going on. So if you say, hey, was I a little garbled there? It kind of messed up that bit a little bit. And then as your internet settles down a little bit, go back and do it again if you want, or just say, never mind, and move on to something else. Yet I find it's really important that you call it. That's always the thing is about this honesty. I'm always telling people one of my principles, which is if it's running through your head, it should be coming out of your mouth. Okay. I've had so many students, the perfect answer came to them and they edited it out. If they'd said what they were thinking at that moment, the audience would have laughed again at you calling it. Resets the room, you can start all over again. Yet there are some things technical, like for instance, one of the technical things that Curtis taught us was that after you deliver your jokes, wherever it is that you expect to get a laugh, pause longer for that laugh, because it has to go through the internet. It has to be laughed at. That laugh has to go through the internet and back to you. So take your time in Zoom as well, because as I was watching people here at some of the clips, different people, and I was noticing different people are laughing at different times. And I'd have to wait until everybody was finished laughing before I came back in again. That's part of learning how to do the timing on Zoom. Very different than IRL. With IRL, everybody pretty much laughs at the same time in real life. We're on Zoom now. So yeah, again, always call it so the audience knows that you know what's going on. Curtis, you got something?
Yeah, well, actually, I would build it into my show. I mean, obviously, if I have bad internet, I'm going to act like I'm killing. It's like, that punchline was great. I'm sorry you didn't hear it. And let me do something else. You're not going to have a great show, but just accept that you're not going to get the laughs you deserve or what you prepared for. And it's going to be less than optimal because of your internet, and just have a good time with it and don't beat yourself up. But yeah, also, if the audience isn't visual, or you can't see them, or you can see them, but you can't hear them, I just find one person that's having a good time with me, because I don't focus on everybody, and I'll just watch their mouth. And if they're laughing, I just base my timing on when they stop their lips moving. Then I'll do the next thing. So, there's no way to get over really bad tech, but you can have fun with it.
I was going to say the same thing. Turn it into a joke. One of the techniques we use when we're riffing is misunderstanding. If somebody you say, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" "I'm a surgeon." And you go, "Oh, you're a sturgeon. I didn't know you're a big old fish." Then that's misunderstanding. You do that purposely. Zoom causes that all the time. And I see comedians, like, we had one this morning. She said, "What's your name?" And the guy said, "Paul." And she said, "Bald?" Now, if she had stayed with bald, it would have been hilarious. But she let him correct her. And she just took that whole joke away, which is the joke of misunderstanding, which works really well on Zoom.
Oh,
See, and Kevin knows that because he's done the exercise for misunderstanding. When you do the exercise, the person can't give up. They can't. That's part of the exercise. You have to keep trying to talk them out of their misunderstanding so they can create more misunderstandings, where that's the exercise they get good at. But she hadn't been taught that if she just keeps going with it, she can turn it into something really funny, and we laugh, so we laughed at that real hard anyway. It's just the misunderstanding because of the bad microphone this guy had.
Yeah, Rolanda, we have a lot of tips like that we offer in this class, because we're dealing with beginner students or students learning skills and fundamentals. And in our 201, people that are putting up a show and people are doing open mics all the time. Yeah, another tip is, recurring circumstances on Zoom. You can just have a one-liner joke ready to go. It's going to be Zoom. There's going to be different time zones. You make jokes about the delay when you're saying something. You can make a joke like, I look like I'm frozen, but I'm just waiting for the laughs. It's like, it's a frozen stare. Like, I'm afraid this is something, my light went out.
Gayla brings up a point, and that is you can prepare for predictable situations. So I've created something I call situation cards, and I have some for Zoom when it's too loud, if there's background noise. And I can write on the back of it what I would say or what I would do. The camera's aimed at the wrong body part. What am I going to say or do? Animals in the frame. What am I going to say or do? And just keep going with those. Somebody's too loud. Somebody has a funny laugh. Somebody gets on and their mic's loud, and just you can predict all those and go to your negative opinion and come up with something to say about them all, and at least be a little prepared.
So Rolanda,
for the unpreparable.
You've got some challenges, and you're out performing at live open mics. You've got some. Is that your only challenge at an open mic, or in your career with doing stand up?
I never did open mic. Well, I did take stand-up classes for Second City.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my only experience.
Where at? Oh yeah,
online.
Yeah, they don't really teach much of anything. I know some of the teachers, they, anyway, never mind.
They specialize in improv though, right? That's what they're
Great at improv teaching, yeah, because they've invented the techniques behind that.
How was
So-
the class? How did you do in that class?
Oh, it was a short class. It was one of those stand-up escape classes where it was only 4 weeks, for an hour and a half, and it was just most likely just fun and just trying to like get your feet wet in terms of doing stand-up. So
Do you feel like there's a lot more you could learn and get good at in terms of?
yeah, I think so. It's like the teacher I had, he was okay, but didn't really it was an okay experience.
Yeah.
You know,
Started. Good for you.
yeah.
But you're here and you're talking to Greg Dean, 40 years of experience. I mean, if you're here checking this out, does any of these things hit home with you in terms of some of the things you've
I have his book. I have his audio book, and I'm only been re-listening chapters 2 and 3, the joke structure. So been trying to write a whole lot of shit.
Yeah. Also, do the section on POVs and listen to that, and listen to the section on rehearsals, because a lot of people bypass that, not because they think that it's about the jokes. You're going to learn so much more about storytelling with the POVs, and the rehearsals is going to learn. The point of the rehearsal is to set you free to be present with the audience, and that's when we have fun. I always tell people, when you're present and you play, you win.
Yeah.
When the audience is loud, that's what Curtis was talking about earlier. Oh, I go with a buddy and we're present and we play and we have a really great time. We leave if nobody liked us or whatever. Oh, well, whatever. We were present. We had fun. You leave with something for yourself, and then it's not devastating because you were present and you had fun.
Evelyn. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit, Evelyn, because you have the other material as well. You getting the book. But we have, I guess, a couple of more people. We have another Chris here in Salmon. You got to tell us how to pronounce your name, Salmon. I'm not gonna even try to get that right. I don't want to screw it up.
I think you did it right.
He's in Dubai.
Yeah, but there's 2 names. Who's gonna go for the second part of that? So definitely, Greg,
I would say it's going to be Qureshi.
Qureshi. All right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, maybe he's in Dubai.
Qureshi.
Hey, Salmon, if you have a question, we're here for you. You're welcome to come on screen and answer it if you have anything that you would like to
I
ask.
wonder if there's even a comedy scene in Dubai. Is there people out there performing? Is there? Are we reaching that far? Does anyone have the book? I'm just curious.
They do. Things are starting to happen out there. Yeah.
There's a great club out there called Haha Beebs.
Haha Beebs. Oh, are you? Okay.
Jokes. No, sorry.
I was like, okay, let's Google search it.
Yeah. So this is cool. Well, Greg, I think we're done with you. Go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, I was just going to say, is there any other questions? Anyway, everybody, thank you for showing up for this quick chat and talk and everything. We got another Q&A coming up, Saturday, Kev? Or something, and so
we have the clubhouse next week is what.
Yeah, the clubhouse next week. We're doing that, and there's a lot of things we're doing, and we, come and join us and have some fun. Thanks for showing up.
You're actually right. Apparently, I didn't look at my calendar. There is a Zoom Q&A from 12 to 1. It's a Zoom, so you're welcome to come on here. The link will be the same link.
Same link. Come and join us.
Free shows.
Yeah. Be surprised. We do this free intro and then a Q&A. And what we find is then after that, if we do a Q&A, a bunch of people then show up for the Q&A. It's a bunch of people didn't show up to this, show up for that. So it ends up being a very interesting thing and a little bit different tone. So thank you for showing up. I turn you over to Gayla and Kev. I'm going to check out, and I will hope to see you in class.
Thanks, see you, Greg.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg.
So Evelyn was asking about the Clubhouse. Clubhouse is an app. You have to have an iPhone, or you did until this past Monday. Apparently, they made it for Android. But it's a social networking app where you can listen in to a conversation. There's no video. And you can raise your hand and say something, but it's all audio, and it's like listening to kind of like being a part of a podcast.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it was fun. Last week, the last couple of weeks, we did, that, women are funny. We need more women in comedy. We had a big discussion about it, and people could talk about how they feel about, like, there's no women, or women, why aren't there more funny women? And it was a huge discussion. There were guys talking about that there's a general belief that women aren't funny. It's a male-dominated business, so we were.
That's an old belief.
I know.
That's an old belief. We know that's not true.
What are you talking about? Women are hilarious. So we did that, and then we have the one next week. What is the theme?
Stop trying to be funny.
Or I thought it was like when you stop caring or something. Yeah, stop trying
to be funny.
Yeah, people trying to be funny are rarely funny.
Right.
Have you ever really tried to be funny on stage and everything just didn't work? Because that's one of those goals that are unobtainable. You can't control funny. And so we talk about like goal setting and stuff on in classes. Don't create a goal that you can't reach. I'm going to be funny. Oh, are you?
That's a result. What are you going to do that?
Yeah, let's see what the audience decides you're being. How about that? Hey, Rolando, did you get the link to sign up? Are you ready? Are you getting in this?
I have other commitments that I need to do before I could take the class. I was gonna take it in April, so but I'm gonna unfortunately. Yeah. So
I look at the date. I'm like, what date is? I have no idea.
It was in the April month where I first saw it. And
that's last month.
Last month.
The last session.
Last session.
Okay, cool. I get it.
Oh.
I totally get it. You know what? I'm one of these people too. I have to really watch what I do a lot, because I'll create a habit of not doing something because it's easier that way. And it's not just me. It's not just you or me. It's like if you do have a plan, what's going to happen? It'll keep nagging at you until you finally do it.
No, I really, it's 5 weeks, 3 hours, each week, and
you know what it is? It's being accountable is like the idea. It's like, are you ready to join a program that will help you work on your goals, but you're accountable to it? And otherwise you put it off, and that's fine too. And then next year you go, okay, now I'm going to do it. Let's see, because life is always going to be there. And there's always going to be other options. And I get it. There's a million things. Like I have a screenplay I've been meaning to write for 3 years, and I'll get around to it.
I'm a software engineer by profession. So I've been taking like improv and stand-up classes just to improve my public speaking skills.
And if you're interested in corporate gigs, you have industry information that you could use to make jokes that other people don't have, and you could become the guy who is the comedian for the tech industry. Do all the conventions and all that kind of stuff. If you're interested, again, that's when you're going to personalize. Just like if somebody was a nurse and they did all nurse humor, they could do humor at the nurse conventions or the medical, whatever the hell you call them.
Yeah, I was thinking of Sarah Cooper, who was like worked for Google for years, and then she got big through doing those Donald Trump lip syncs, and it's just and I did. She did some books, on certain corporate culture. I haven't read it, but
that's great though. You've got a great niche. You do, like Kevin said, so yeah. I mean, corporate comedy is where the money's at, really.
It absolutely is.
Plus, start working clean with clean comedy. You'll be writing jokes that, are structured and clean, so you don't have to go to blue humor to be funny. You'll be writing clean comedy. Once you're clean, you can do corporate, you can do colleges, you can do cruise ships. And of course you can do clubs, because it's a lot easier to put an F-bomb into a clean show than it is to take an F-bomb out of a show. Because a lot of comics that do F-bombs all the time and do blue humor, they think that's a joke. They think that's the funny part. And so they try to go clean, or they try to clean it up for television. You know, they go, well, you got to take all the F-bombs out, all the cuss words out, everything out. And then they're not as funny because they never really, you know, fix the joke to stand alone without the cuss words. So, and so now that you're, you know, but so yeah, if you're going to go through corporate, that's the structure you need. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but you're here. This was great. You learned something. This is good. You know, think about it. See, consider all the stuff you've heard today and what's going on. Evelyn has a lot of questions, which is really great. I'm glad I'm going to see you next week. And Christopher, that he's going to be in next week. So we, you know, we have a really good class on Thursday too. It's already like 8
It's
people.
Thursday. Yeah, it's good. It's good size. It's gonna be
Yeah. And then the other two classes are running. So it's going to be great. We'll be doing this again. You said April, or you were going to do it last month.
I thought about it, and then like I looked at the time frame. It's like, and I also have I have 50% custody with my daughter, so it's you know, it's kind of tough to like schedule stuff in and still
There's some
try to be
comedy
in.
there. There's comedy in that, brother. Totally.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be cathartic for you to talk about it.
Well, if it works out better next time, I mean, make sure you're aware of the other time frames. We have like two different other time frames that might fit better in your schedule than this one. So, you know, we offer that. That's what's really cool about Zoom. We can offer different time frames because, you know, we don't even have to get out of bed to do this. You know, we can just. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We had the one guy come to the open mic like 3 times from his hospital bed.
Oh wow!
His phone from his hospital bed, and the funny thing was he was in Canada, which has the socialized medicine. So half of the stuff he was saying was just joking about how much we have to pay and how he's been sick his whole life and never paid a dime for anything.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Use this, and people take this class driving across country on their phone.
Yeah.
All right, this is class 3. I'm listening. Yeah.
Just a quick question. Is the clubhouse the same thing as the Q&A?
There's a Q&A that's on Zoom.
That's different.
And that's
Okay.
Saturday. The Q&A is on Zoom Saturday. And let me just double check
Yeah.
the time because I don't want to give you the wrong time.
Time for that.
I think I know, but it's 12 to 1. It's just going to be a 1-hour Zoom conversation. It's going to be on this same link. So go ahead and save that link and you'll be able to pop on there. And that one's just on Zoom. It's not going on Clubhouse at the same time. And then we do our Clubhouse discussions every Tuesday from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock Pacific time.
Okay, and the 12 to 1 is also Pacific?
Yes, everything's Pacific for us. I prefer that everybody else does their own math. I hate when I screw up somebody's time.
I love it, Evelyn. You're getting all the stuff. I love it. What did you say, Rolando? Go ahead.
No, the clubhouse is that do I just look up Greg Dean in the Clubhouse app or just
Yes.
I think
okay.
so, yeah, and
Yeah, do you have are you familiar with Clubhouse?
No, I just downloaded it. So.
Oh, okay. You do have to be invited, so you probably got an invite from somebody. Evelyn, if you'd like to have Clubhouse, if you want to direct message your phone number to me, I can send you the invite from my phone.
Sure, great. Yeah, I'll have to
don't crank call me.
Clubhouse as well. That's
clever way to get girls' phone numbers.
Yeah. I'm red hot.
Funny.
So yeah, that's a new thing. That's all new stuff, you know. But before Clubhouse was happening, we did this Q&A, which is what we're still doing. It's just a good place to talk shop, opportunities, bookings. You know, everyone comes from a different background. Curtis Matthews, he was here a second ago. He has a different background. Me, I've been doing comedy for 20 years, and I've been on Showtime and Comics Unleashed and Comedy Central, and I've got a comedy CD out, and I've toured London and Montreal and done a lot of shows. And I'm also an actress, and I'm recurring on a lot of major comedy TV networks, CBS and ABC and stuff. So I come from a background of how to transition back and forth between acting and comedy and doing comedy and writing comedy. And Kevin got a musician's background, and he's been performing at live venues, and he's got an amazing ability to stand up in front of a crowd and just do things even without a mic. Greg's like that too. Man.
I specialized in corporate entertainment, so that's why I'm always thinking that angle. And everybody asks me, for corporate entertainment as a comedian, what do I need to do? You need to have a show. You need to have a show, but you need to have a show and know why your show applies to those people. Know why your show applies to those people. If you can't express that, then you're just another comedian. And in corporate gigs, you want to be more than another comedian. You want to be their buddies.
Hey, Kevin, I don't think we're gonna get salmon or trout or whoever that is to come on camera here. I love that joke you said at one of the open mics. There's somebody that wouldn't come on camera, and he goes, "Okay, you're not gonna come on camera and talk and say something, then we're gonna do this. Here you go. Enjoy the show." All right, everybody's performing. I think you took off your background too. You made it even better. I think he did this. He took off.
I just put a card up in front of it.
Oh, you took a card up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. It's like, cause I mean, why are we giving and you're not even there? We don't know, That's all right. Salmon, we got one more shot.
Salmon was here. He did talk to us. So he may have stepped away. Maybe he's using the facilities. Maybe he said something the Dubai government doesn't like and they're chopping his head off.
Oh,
sorry, I'm a little bit dark.
We got to get Greg's book translated to Dubai-nese or whatever.
Dubai-nese.
Dubai-nese.
I like Dubai, but I like to sell more.
Oh my gosh.
Sounded like Robin Williams.
You just came up with that just now?
Yeah, I'm sharp on Dubai jokes. That maybe I should find some corporations in Dubai.
Oh my God, Kevin. Con man. Oh,
I'm sure they pay well. Yep.
And Rolando with that. Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
All right, well, if you guys,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you. It was it's really cool to hear you guys and talk to you guys, and I'm really stoked with you guys.
We love to hang out with you, get to know you, work with you, get you in 201, where we put together your actual show. Then you do a show online with us, we do that in 201.
The 201 class is the implementation of the 101 class. Not that you're not going to implement it, but you're going to implement it on a greater degree with the focus being on doing a student showcase and inviting everybody who has no idea how funny you are.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, hey, Kevin, I've seen some of the YouTube open mic stuff the last 2 days. So
it's been brutally bad the last 2 days, but it's
there's
fun.
been two people, I think yesterday or something like that.
Yeah, we had like 2 yesterday and 2 on Tuesday. 2 or 3.
Well, hey, it's a lot of great time then that they get.
Hey, you know what? My goal, if it's 2 people and we can just have fun, we just have some fun.
That's awesome.
Bag on each other a little bit and talk about the world and hopefully have a little bit of a human connection by the end. All right, Gayla.
Oh,
Bye,
I can't believe the green screen doesn't stay up when I do that. What? Look at this. The green. Oh, I got
such a perfect sign. The whole thing's gone.
Trying to do the thing, I got to get small. Anyway, Kevin, you do it better than I do, anyways.
What? Or just putting a screen up?
Yeah. I think you screen share this, right?
I have before, but I didn't tonight.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you guys. We're just gabbing and babbling. All right, see ya.
Thanks for everything.
You bet.
Bye.